Okay. So hopefully you can just put in the chat if you're able to hear me. Yes, no, maybe, maybe not. Yes. So you're not able to hear me. Thanks. Are you able to hear me? Or shall I write here? Oh, oh. So, all right, guys. So, are you able to hear me now? No, no, no. So testing. Now you yes, we can hear you. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Good morning. So, sound taste, sound taste. Okay, so let's get going, guys. And we were talking about last time about the permissions model in Azure. So, you can give permissions on the management group level, you can give permissions on subscription level, then you can give permissions on resource group level, and then directly on the resources. When we say resources, so that is well, the whole thing, like the VMs, storage, account, um, networks. So when we're talking about permissions, resource permissions, so we're talking about uh, the top level is management group, then the subscription level you can give permission, then you can give permission on resource group level, and then you can give permissions on resources directly as well. But obviously, if you suppose you give permission only on VM, sometimes the users you have to give one level up permission as well for the user to see the resource group. So this is when I say resources, this is just one line. There's no lower level. So resources would be the VM's storage account, read it, um, and etc. Uh, so these are the levels of permissions where you can give, and you can also remove from this level. Uh, that we talked about, and then we also talked about the permissions on that you can create a management group, and then subscription. You can one subscription for production, one subscription you can create for UAT test environment, or and then another subscription you can create for dev environment. And then under the subscription, you can create resource groups, and under the resource groups are all the resources. So we will be creating the whole model that is going to explain to us, or clarify to us that how permissions are given. The certificates. Then we talked about key vault and encryption, and PKI model for public key and private key as well last time. So that and how to use key vault in a storage account, and then storage account can be connected to another resource as well securely. So we talked about all that. Now we're going to continue with the storage account, and we'll hopefully finish today's storage account and start with the virtual network VNet security. So yeah, and let's steps to create managed identity. That's the lab that yeah, this was the discussion for the PKI and public key infrastructure. So I'm just removing all that. Storage security. So we're going to continue with that. Storage security steps to create. So yeah, that is all still part of it. We were last time talking about container security and what are the features in that. So let's quickly create a storage account, and then explore remaining security options. All right. So let's go ahead, and I'm just gonna switch to other browser, which is Firefox, and I'll log in from my account. So hopefully that is my. Oh, that is not. That is. Oops. Plus college. Okay. I'll sign out from here and quickly sign in to the storage account, and this storage account was these. Let's see, GLP. Okay. Excuse me. It logged in again. Seriously, I signed out. Okay. I'll go to portal.office.com, and there's the video. Right. And then there's the MFA, and then 60789 160,789. Okay. So once I log in from this, we needed to log into Azure. So when I now go to the other portal, I'll tab and go for portal.azure.com. So it should log in from the same account platform, Azure IaaS. First, I logged in from SaaS-based Microsoft 365 subscription, and then I am now logged in from IaaS-based subscription. So yeah, I'm just gonna quickly go there and create a storage account. Okay. delete the last one. Not good. Ouch. Okay. But let me just check that if there was a lock there. So I will go to the resource groups. I'll be still deleting this one. And check if there was some issue that it didn't get deleted. If I did try to delete it and it didn't get deleted, so any of the features will not be available in this. So I'll just go to the resource group it was in, and then uh, this as it will be deleting, so I will just simply go for it. Okay, so this is getting deleted. If there are any errors, I will know that. I guess I did try to delete last time. So I'm just going to quickly create a new resource group or just new storage account quickly, and we'll go through the installation steps. While this is getting deleted, I'm just going to click the create button and go ahead with creation of another account. I do see last week's 4 March resource group, so I'm just going to click the create new here and RG11 March 2023 and press ONK storage account. So it will be just the lowercase, globally unique, as we know already. So it will be 11 March 2023. Right. And something unique. So foosball. Somebody's selling a foosball table. Let me know. What am I talking about? Okay. So yeah, if you don't know foosball, it's that players on the table and then you play. Right. Anyway, so East US, yes, standard recommended for most scenarios, general purpose version 2, and redundancy. So that's geo-redundant GRS, so that's high availability. No changes on this page other than the new resource group and the name, and everything else is same. I'm going to click the advanced, and here, okay, so here, other than the default to Azure Active Directory authorization in the Azure portal, which we can enable later as well, everything is selected. We talked about before as well. And then there is that ADLSD or Azure Data Lake Storage Gen 2. This is for analytical applications like Azure Synapse, which analyzes your data from different sources. So underlying, if it needs storage speedy storage, then this is made available. Um, and well, it's still the same right now, no changes here. But yeah, that's the access tier, and Azure files are not clicking, so no change on the administration page. I'm just going to click networking as it has public access and it's on Microsoft Networking recommended. Data protection, I'm going to go there. Then I'll just click the enable data to uh, so I'll just here I'm just gonna click that enable point in time, and other than that, enable versioning, yeah, enable blob. So we talked about all this in detail before as well. Encryption, and we then talked about customer managed keys. We created a customer key vault, or not customer key vault, key vault, and then we created a key for the key vault. We talked about PKI, public key infrastructure, and encryption algorithms. So now we're going to keep it to Microsoft Managed Keys, MMK. About infrastructure encryption, so this option cannot be changed after the storage account is created. I'm just clicking that infrastructure, enable infrastructure encryption, and that just means that you have, suppose, encrypted your file, then you still, suppose you have 10,000 files and you've encrypted that folder in which, or that container in which the files are, and then you just want another encryption on top of the encryption that you have already done. So hackers have to break two types of encryptions, two levels of encryption. Then the hacker can gain access. So that would be near to impossible, or it will take that much time or years to break that it will be not worth hacking your data, right? So this is what then enable infrastructure encryption, that the whole thing will be encrypted, whole storage account will be encrypted, other than the data inside that is already separately encrypted with separate encryption and decryption keys. This is so when I go to tags and here manager, uh, well, what's the project? So suppose it's some project that you're following and it tab doesn't work. It doesn't. It's a project Toronto project because there's a lot of project going on and department sales and manager and branch, um, branch IT. Right? So, seriously, Toronto. So whatever details you want to put here, you can put. I'm just gonna click review here, and that's a quick one. So validation field, there you go. That's by so I'm gonna check that why validation failed. I'm gonna click this, and it says here troubleshooting option, check usage plus quota or error. No connection. We action um max age, no sniff, no the federal resource group. Oh, that's my previous account error. So I'll be handling that. But what's the error with this one? Read-only disabled subscription. Oh, okay. Yeah. So my subscription is disabled actually. So I'm just gonna re-enable or try to re-it. Re what? I'm just gonna try to check that if I can have more, extended subscriptions. So I'm going to this cost management plus billing, and it says here that your free credit has expired. Upgrade to keep going with your account. Huh. So can I extend to this other one? So I'm gonna try to extend that or upgrade to keep going with your account. But I don't want to, put. I'm just gonna upgrade that now. I think I did put a credit card here already. No payment needed. Invoices. So yep, there's the upgrade button here. I went to this billing plus management, and then I'm gonna click upgrade now. Clicking on your subscription. Okay, so obviously when you upgrade, so do you need a support package, which is $35 per month, $121 per month, or $1,215 per month, professional direct, standard, recommended, developer, or basic, which is for individuals or teams that need billing and subscription management support and do not require technical support. So I don't require technical support. I'm gonna click up and grade. That I don't need subscription, but it's pay as you go onwards. But I'll try to remove the recurring billing or uncheck the recurring billing. So I'm just upgrading and it upgrades. Now they have made the upgrade process easier. So they realized the pain of changing the subscription. So successfully upgraded subscription, and I'll just refresh this. It's obviously pay as you go. And yes, to a friend. So I will recommend to a friend. Yes, extremely likely. As if it's okay to contact me. No, it's not okay. Anyway, so now it's upgraded and will be billed on 31st, first and 31st March time period for billing. Anyway, I'm just gonna go back to creating my account and I'll just go to storage accounts here, and so there was a problem with deleting this. So this is the older account from last week. So I'm just gonna click the create just to create a new account today, and then um, so yeah, 4 March. So I'm just gonna go for today's date, which is 11 March. Create new RG 11 March 23, and okay, that's it. Okay, storage account honor 11 March 2023. Ball table, and I don't know why I'm putting that. Well, yesterday I played that. So the only changes here is just creating a new resource group and storage account name. I'm just gonna go advanced here. Nothing in the advanced in terms of security configurations. Hmm. So other than if you wanted to have secure file transfer protocol or NFS, which is network file system, you're connecting from securely from Linux, then you would enable that. Otherwise, you don't have to. The rest is okay. Azure files, no, we don't need that. Big files. Also, network connectivity. So network related uh, labs are coming after this topic of storage account. So data protection. Here, I'm just enabling in time restore for containers. We can go up to 1 year here. We talked about that in detail. We go further down here, then nothing else. Enable version level immutability. So this is something that we enabled last time. So if you have other versions of your files, older versions of your files, and you want them to be read-only, no delete, no modification, then you can enable that. So this is another security feature for saving your older versions of files. Okay, encryption. So it's up to you, you want to enable that or not. So I'm just going to enable this and enable untrusted encryption. And we're sticking now to MMK. Before we went for custom managed keys and key vault and PKI. We had all the discussion last week. By the way, last week video, so guys, I'll be uploading the videos to my channel, and there you can share your Gmail, and then you will be able to hear. The links will still be in LMS, but when you click the link, it will be the Gmail. I would need your Gmail to get you access to the YouTube. The link will be just taking you to the YouTube, and from there you can really access that video. So those who want to access the video of last week, you can just share your Gmail with me. So I'll be putting that whole announcement here as well in Azure 2-in-1. But you can still see the slide in LMS there and learning management system. I'm just going to click tag here. Last time we created tags, so you know how to do that. I'll click review and validation failed again. Yay! What? Are you kidding me? Seriously, I just upgraded. I think the news did not reach. Background synchronization is still read-only disabled subscription. I just upgraded it. Your subscription blah 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 is disabled and therefore marked as read only. Okay, so maybe I can change the subscription here. This is a subscription ID. So easy to remember. Just kidding. So I'm gonna go back here to this and subscription one. So that's the only subscription I have here. I'll check, right click and go to duplicate tab. I think I'm expecting too early for the subscription to have changed after I upgraded. So I'll go to the subscriptions here, and yeah, it is active. And subscription is 3C1C. If I go to here, yeah, it is the same subscription. It just doesn't know that it is upgraded. 841F3C1C. 341F3C1. Yeah, that's the subscription that is active now. So the background synchronization is still going on. This means. Uh, okay. So since I'm at the edge of creating this, so what I can do is I can keep trying review. I'll click the review running final validation, and now it says, "Oh, so you upgraded? Okay, why did you tell me?" That's what it's saying to me. I'm saying, yeah, 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 whatever. I'm gonna click create, and it says they are slow. Exactly. So let's click 3 and 8. Okay, so other than that, PowerShell, how create a storage account in Cloud Shell. Cloud Shell is this, right? This is the Cloud Shell. So it is your portable PowerShell environment. This one, right? Uh, so that's what I uh, put there. That log on to the Azure portal, click on the Cloud Shell icon, then you will create Azure set up creating storage account with Azure PowerShell. Just right click here and tab, and then persist file in Cloud Shell. Yeah, so it's storage. So it's okay. So I'll just check that as well. And suppose first of all, enabling PowerShell or Cloud Shell, just click that button and then you enable PowerShell. Then it says registering your subscription with Azure Cloud Shell. Azure Cloud Shell needs access to manage resources. Access is provided through namespaces that must be registered to your subscription. Use the following commands. That's very strange. I mean, Cloud Shell actually does have subscriptions. It just subscribes to know, the subscription. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so I'll just go create storage account. I just wanted to grab those same script just to create. So new Azure storage account is what you can do with PowerShell as well. And new Azure RM storage account is the command as well that creates then a new storage account. Obviously, what we selected is not there. I click many options. I did not click some of the options, right? And removes Azure storage account is the command to remove the storage account. So if I go to this Cloud Shell as well, I'll click this, and then there's a bash, there's a PowerShell. So bash also runs Linux commands as well. And it's just called CLI or command line interface. And then there is that PowerShell which runs Microsoft PowerShell. And then it says that your Azure subscription in this, I'm creating a storage inside the storage. This shell will be stored, and from that storage, the shell will be run. And there in this shell, you can just then type commands. Yep, the read has also shown this. So create storage, yeah, let's just click the create and store and enrich. So we have done the click way of creating storage accounts. So I just wanted to show you that the same storage account can be created from PowerShell as well. Well, actually, virtual machine can be created from PowerShell. Anything can be created from PowerShell. Even PowerShell, you can do anything. You want early breakfast, we eat paratha and omelette, so you can do with PowerShell. So create dash PRADHA paratha. Oh, just kidding. Okay, so yeah, that's not possible, but anything technical within Azure is possible. So here, connect, and then it says that type easy to use Azure CLI, type help, and all that, and then it loads the PowerShell, and there's that other tab where if I go for new Azure storage account, but there was that new Azure RM storage account. It's wanted to create the new storage account, new Azure storage, right? So if I go for new dash Azure SD and press tab storage, if I type a tab storage account SaaS token, new Azure storage account. So if I just type that and press enter, so it says new Azure storage account is not found. The most similar Azure PowerShell command is new AZ storage account. Instead of Azure, it is AZ now. So if I type up arrow and go down to AZ, right? And then it actually suggests that you can give the whole command here, this one, the whole thing that will let you create as well. So no prompt for you. Naveed shows in the WhatsApp chat. Should we create this account? Yes, go ahead and click the create storage account. It is showing, which is okay. Oh, you went for uh, yeah. So let me show you here. So you're here, right? This is batch. This one. So click this, Naveed. You can just click this drop down and change it to PowerShell. In Bash, you can actually run all the other uh, commands from Linux as well, right? But we want to change Bash to PowerShell, then you can click PowerShell here, and then okay. Then I should window right. Right, it is too cold. Otherwise, it is not too cold. Okay, so just change the Bash to PowerShell from here. Drop down menu. Okay, I'm just gonna double click that and go and so it does suggest that, hey, you want to create a storage account, then you can run minus kind here, dash or hyphen kind here storage. Location you have to give it's East US, minus name is whatever name you want to give to the storage account, minus resource group name. So you have to give us resource group name and SKU name, a standard LRS or whatever high availability you want. So it's not just a new AZ storage account, and this is pretty cool that they are suggesting that okay, basic storage account you want to create, then at least you have to give this much information. So if I go up here to grab this information, okay, what is my location? It is East US, which is correct. But what is my storage account name? I have already created a storage account, but just to show you with PowerShell as well. So if I go ahead and just remove this name minus name and go with the Palmer 11 March 2023 storage account, which is A2. So I'll just put some name there that is different from the name that I already used to create through graphical user interface. Then it says which resource group you want to create. So I have a resource group that I can see from here. If I go to portal menu here, and then go to resource group and click that, so it will just take me to this resource group or all the resource groups that are there, and then you can see Cloud Shell storage account also got created here because when you create a Cloud Shell, it needs another storage account. So this is that. Then there is RJ11 March 2023 is my new resource group for today. So I can just simply put here, yes, I'll put that on the go on the comma and then go for the resource group name, which is RG11 March 2023. And then SKU name is standard LRS or GRS or any of the other high availability uh, and access tier is hot. This was the basic configuration, but I can uh, remember that we did select other settings as well for security. So you keep on adding that. You have to see the syntax and then keep on adding that what security you want, MMK for encryption or customer managed key CMK, right? So all that you can configure as well. So I'm just gonna, this is just a typical PowerShell way of creating a storage account. Let's see if it works. So I've just changed the things. I've given a resource group and I've given the name of the storage group. I'll just press enter now after this. So then it says the value hot is not allowed for property access tier. For more information, uh, well, hot tier was supposed to be there, storage account access tier. So if I, so it's giving this account or this URL that you're not supposed to use that term there, but yep, it's hot, and it's a string type here as well. That when you're giving a tier name here, like you have to give some value, but you normally we select from hot and cool, right? Whichever tier you want. So it says that yes, this is not really allowed. So I'm just gonna go for examples, create storage account in Cloud Shell or PowerShell, whichever. And how do I create storage account? So I just need a full syntax right away. So otherwise, yeah, you can take time to really easily create a full syntax, or you can ask someone who is very helpful nowadays. And that thing was discovered or introduced to the planet Earth 1.5 months ago, I think. And that has already 100 million subscribers. You know what is that? You can take help from ChatGPT. Yay! Okay, anyway, I think it's not going to load today. We've trained a model called ChatGPT. ChatGPT dot OpenAI. You can ask it anything. Right? You know that. Again, seriously, continue with Microsoft account. Okay, if it just lets me go in quickly. Okay, that's anyway. So I'll just quickly go from another thing, and that is uh, GPT. Just wanted to show you that as well, guys, because when you're troubleshooting, it could be giving you a very good T-shoot edge as well. I had an issue in I was troubleshooting some issue in my job environment. So I told my boss that, hey, boss, I used ChatGPT today, and it actually distracted me. uh, the issue was a bit too complicated for ChatGPT, so I just tried it. It did give me some. So this is ChatGPT here. Our goal is to external feedback. Blah blah blah. Thanks. Come on, move it. Got your. We love your feedback. Blah blah blah. Okay. So there is the chat GPT here, chat.openai. I'll just put that here, link in WhatsApp. And here, I'll just put the same thing. How to create storage account in Cloud Shell. So you can create storage account in Cloud Shell by following these steps, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, we did that. And then AZ group create minus name, replace my resource group with this. Yeah. Type following command to create a storage account. Replace my storage account with the name. Yeah. This command will return the properties of storage account. That's it. You have now created a storage account in Cloud Shell. Okay, so I'll just copy this, copy code, and just don't tell anyone we are taking help of ChatGPT. Actually, already, everyone is talking about this, so I thought that why not we just make the process a bit faster. So I'll just grab this account, this storage account related command here, and It actually shows all the properties as well, that what can you use and what you cannot use. Suppose I just go for and just talk about how to create a store. It gave me the bash related storage account, Azure storage account in PowerShell, right? Uh, Azure storage account in PowerShell. So then, as you know that it's going to just create just thinking, checking. And there's an upgrade to Plus as well. This means that the ChatGPT guys who are creating, one of the guys will travel to you, go home, and then explain to you everything, and then go back to his home. So here, yeah, it's just giving all the syntax, but not the exact command. It's just explaining the whole syntax here. New Azure source group name, yeah, source group name, and explaining everything step by step. Wait for storage account to be created. That's it. So create a new resource group in which to create, and then create storage account by running the following command. Pick copy code here and go here. So it is telling me, yep, a resource group name, yeah, whatever. Storage group account name, location, East US, queue name, LRS, and kind. Storage v2. Remember that we used that other suggestion, which was actually coming from Azure. That is, that SKU would be or tier would be hot tier. So here it just says storage v2. So that was the difference. So I can just quickly put that information here, and you will see some live stuff going on with ChatGPT. We can just also then check out some quick security configurations related PowerShell commands from ChatGPT, but you have to make sure it is giving the correct information. It may or may not be correct. Any of the time it is correct or it's really there. Just have to do some small changes. So I'm just going to change this to quickly what I have, and then so this is my account. I'll just go back to here where I was just putting this, and my resource group, like so storage account name is this, and I'll just change it here. Storage account name is this. If it has spaces, you have to put it. It's one name, one word. But if it has spaces, you can put then commas there. And my resource group is this. RG is also one word, but let's see if it accepts that. And the rest is okay. Location, no. Location is East US, and how they type it. See, there's a space here, so I'll just copy the whole thing with space. Just right click on top of it, it copies. And just put that space. So it should work unless it doesn't like this as well. And then you have the whole storage one. So I put my information, and ChatGPT is really there with the help. And here, so new Azure resource group. This is the resource group. Yes, it is. A new name here is this. Location is East US, and SKU name is standard LRS. And storage v2. So warning upcoming breaking changes in the commandlet new AZ storage. Oh, there you go. It creates. Okay. ChatGPT rules. It gave me the correct command. And there's another storage group. Now we're gonna check ChatGPT with the security configurations as well. But this is very helpful for you guys. You want a quick command. Hey, what is command for creating Terraform related commands because Cloud Shell supports Terraform as well, which is infrastructure as a code, right? So you can go with this and quickly get the correct PowerShell and Bash commandlets and try it here. Right? First, try it in your product test environment and then go for production. Naveed says in the chat, so do we have to create a resource group on Azure GUI first? Yes, when we are talking about GUI related configuration, so it does ask for a resource group already. Yeah, that's why it is created when the resource group was, when the storage account was created. When we were creating storage account, it asks for new or existing resource group. Yes, you can create a resource group before creating a storage account, or you can create it during creation of the storage account as well. We can start from scratch in PowerShell. So yeah, Navi says, or we can start from scratch. So in see this when we were creating this storage account, it did ask that it requires actually that you have to give some kind of storage resource group name. Either in this case, it should be already exist. Otherwise, then go for new AZ resource group, create the resource group first, and then create this. Then run this command. It's expecting a resource group here, and it's asking what is the resource group name. It's not saying in this command that okay, let me create a resource group for you. But in GUI, it was saying that whether you give an existing one or a new one, if new one you give, then it will create that for you. But in PowerShell, you have to separately create that. Okay, so Navi says, what what is the command to create a RG in PowerShell? Oh, that is pretty straightforward. So it's PowerShell or Cloud Shell, Azure Cloud Shell, and for creating a resource group. Why am I doing that? Because um, we should do that. First thing, so how do I create a resource group in PowerShell? What is the command for creating? Yeah, there it is. So new AZ resource group. That's it. New AZ resource group. And then you can, how do I make a Azure group? So if I go here, there's a new AZ description example. So which location you want, what is the name of the resource group? This is the proper syntax here. Create an empty resource group using positional parameters as well, South Central US or East US, and create a resource group with tags. So it goes better and better there. So this is how to create resource group in PowerShell. Yeah, in ChatGPT, I should have done that too. But anyway, this is the uh, how to create a new resource group. Okay. Let's go ahead, guys. And just wanted to introduce we should be touching PowerShell from time to time. And the second thing, for security as well, there are PowerShell commandlets as well. And now we have our trusted, um, friend as well for configuring some security. We're gonna take the help of chat.openai.com/chat or ChatGPT. So we'll just keep checking here, and you can also just open an account in production environment. In an office, I tend to keep it open. Whenever I need a quick suggestion for PowerShell or anything else, then I just put it here. So it's just its filtering is very good to search the to give me exactly what I want. Tries to. If you don't get exactly what you want, then click regenerate response, right? Anyway, so just go for artificial intelligence and try to um, rely on that for faster results, because others are using that even if you're not using that. So others will be faster than you. So go with the trend. He says, is really good. It's really good. I didn't know about this ChatGPT thing. Oh, you're welcome. No problem. ChatGPT is 2 months ago it was introduced, and millions and millions of users are crazy about it already. So keep this open when you open your computer. You want to have a recipe, it's gonna give you the recipe of anything. It's just it's your friend on internet. I hope it's a friend. But no. Okay. Cool. No problemo. Okay. I'm just gonna go back to this. Yes, another storage account is created, but thanks to ChatGPT, that the correct syntax was there. The strangest thing is, guys, that they suggested in Cloud Shell. I'm in Cloud Shell, Azure Cloud Shell, and Azure suggested this. It didn't work. I mean, this one is not exactly working, and there was an error. What the suggestion was coming actually from the vendor. So anyway, you go for the latest commands from ChatGPT as well, and then you can. I'll keep it open, and I'll show you then how to further use it, or we can go with quick whatever we want to search, not take time, right? Anyway, let's go back to what we were doing, and uh, now in this, so this tab I'll just keep it open for PowerShell or Cloud Shell, and then I'm just gonna switch to my graphical user interface here and go to the storage accounts. I'm just gonna go to the console here and go for storage accounts here, and okay, now I have actually a variety of storage accounts. This is the old one, and this is the GUI one, and this is the ChatGPT one. So with the help of ChatGPT. Okay. So I'm just gonna go ahead with the one that we created with proper click, 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 click. Uh, if I go down here, we were talking about containers, and in containers, we have created a container. So I'm going to create a container here again. But what about if I ask my buddy, hey, uh, cloud, cloud shell command for creating Azure storage container. So then, okay, it's going for bash. Yeah, it's one PowerShell. Okay, I can switch to bash as well. So Fauzi says in the chat, already made an account in ChatGPT last month. It is really helpful. Exactly, you're right. So here, it's the bash command that it gave just to create a container inside. So I'm just going to copy code here and then go here and just put my information there. That's the syntax is, but it's in bash. So I'll switch to bash. Create account name, storage account name, account key, storage account key, name container. Hey, not creating. Okay, AG storage container create. Okay, so it's asking what is the account name. So I already put that account name here. So I'm just gonna copy from here. Resource group name, account name is this, right? So I'll just quickly go down here. Actually, for certificate, security certificate related shoot I had to do. So I was talking to asking ChatGPT. It was actually tracking me as well. Like storage account key. So it's asking for storage account key. How do I get a storage account key? Where is it? If I go back to our now, so there's a storage account. Oh, storage account key. Key is here. Access keys. Is access key, and that's the key. I'll just I don't want to reiterate that. We're gonna come to key as well. Uh, key. Okay, copy this, and I'll tab that and storage account key. Key is our authentication, right? Hey, you want to create something from bash, so give me a key of that storage account so I can authorize or authenticate you that you are who you say you are. So obviously the admin must have given you the key. This means you have the correct key and you have the access to that. So and then minus mass name container name. So I'm just gonna go for any container name here. Suppose it's sales container. Now I am gonna copy this after using it from ChatGPT and go back here to uh, this one, and I'm gonna switch to Bash. So I'll instead of PowerShell, I'll just click Bash. Oh, it's confirm. It's gonna create that Bash as well. So I'm gonna click confirm, and it's connecting with Bash. There it is, and paste. So I want to create a container inside this account with this account key, which is going to be authorizing. Yes, this is a correct storage account in which I want to create sales container. Let's see if it has any issues. Otherwise, okay, so this may be caused authentication failure. This may be caused by either invalid account key, connecting string, or SAS token value provided for your storage account. So the key may have an issue, and if I go there, so this is the key or connection string. Okay, I'll go for connection string instead and put it here. Oops, what I did? Oh, seriously? Okay, and so okay, everything else is seems okay. Only this is too long, and it's a connection string. No, it's not asking for connection string. It's asking for key. So I'll put key, but there's a SAS shared access signature key as well that I can put. Um, but this key should be working. I'll just go back once more and account name as storage account container create and minus key. So actually, it just put the key here and go back to ChatGPT and copy code again. What was the actual code? If it takes time, I'll just go switch to uh, my GUI. I'll switch to GUI if it takes time, right? So this is the whole thing that got. Um, so account name, there was the account key here, right? And account key is this area. So maybe there's a space, extra space that I'm giving here that it's not accepting. So I'll just go one more time, and if it doesn't work, then I'll just okay. So there is an extra space here. I'll remove that space and no space here, and yeah. So it's bash and no space here. I'll copy that again and go back here and try one more time. Um, and okay, so this is about the invalid account key. Okay, maybe connection string or SAS token. So this may not work in Bash. So it's keep on trying again and check that because Azure keep on introducing new commandlets as well. Oh, from now on, this command is not working and this command is working. So you have to then work on this. Okay, so I'm just going to switch to this uh, and go for containers. So I'm just going to create a container here plus container. In fact, I asked for ChatGPT for PowerShell one, but by default it went for Bash, so could have explained better. Anyway, just to save time, sales DEPT or the container name has to be small case department. And then there are private access key, blob, container, public access, create that. So last time we talked about sales container. Anyway, alias container. So we talked about this shared access token at that time for the container. And then and we did create a shared access signature here for that you can share the container with others for a specific amount of time, and you can use key 1 or key 2 that we just used right now. And permission could be read, add, create, write. So whatever permission you want to give, and from which IP address you want that person to connect from. Any other IP address, that person will not be able to connect to this container. And then there is a HTTPS only or HTTP. You want to allow that too. So to connect this container, we last time tried this all, and I'm going to go for access policy here. So access policy storage, the stored access policy is just that you can, for this particular container, you can add a policy here. And identifier is policy 1, suppose company policy 1, whatever name you want to give. But what it does is it also gives you read, add, create, write, delete list permissions, but with a time expired for with time range. This means that it could expire import it to expiration. So suppose I go for read, add, create, write, and list, but not delete. So when I select that, 5 are selected here, and then from what time to what time you want to give access to people to this container. So that's just whatever time you want to select. And today is 11, and suppose I go for tomorrow, Eastern time zone, which is okay. I'm just going to press O and K, and policy 1 gets created. And then I'm going to click save. I can ask ChatGPT for 3 or 4 times just to correctly get the command for how to create an access policy with these particular settings. So it's going to give you those policy settings as well. So you can try to get, you could have Googled it. I could have Googled it as well, but with Google, the problem is that it gives first page, second page, third page, and the first link, second link, third link. And ChatGPT just filters that out and keeps giving you some nearest possible answer, right? So it's just one step ahead from Google search in terms of filtering the result for you, getting the exact thing. Then there's immutable blob storage. And that is, if you click the add policy here, then there's a legal hold. We may have talked about that before as well, but we cover it under the Az-500 umbrella. So here, legal hold, each legal hold policy needs to be associated with one or more tags. Tags are used as a name identifier, such as case ID, to categorize and view records, right? Um, so here, tags are used for this. Extension retention policy changes may require some time to take effect. So what basically happens is you want to put a legal hold on this particular container, then you can do that by placing it. Suppose there's a case number, case 394879290. Suppose there's a case ID, which is just the investigation going on, and you open that investigation and you put the case ID as something, right? So with that tag, allow protected append rights to this block and append blobs. So now protected append rights just means that determines whether additional append actions will be allowed on. Append just means want change something. Append means change, right? The change actions will be allowed on blobs in this container. So now protected append, which means that they can change some files if they really want to do that to continue their work. But protected just means that there will be an extra copy still available. There will be a lot of blobs in this container. This setting cannot be modified while a policy is locked. So the thing is, you can allow protected append, which means whatever things was appended, suppose a file was changed, so the older version of the file will still be there for the investigators, that what changes were made and what were the older configurations, or what was the older document setting and what things were changed. Everything after a legal hold is implemented, the investigator can see. So legal hold would simply um, not let the user make changes or not let user delete anything, because as long as the legal hold is there, the user cannot do anything with the files. And then there is a legal hold uh, which you can change to time-based retention as well. So legal hold is annual, that whenever your investigation is done, come here and remove the tag, delete the tag. As soon as you delete the tag from here, you just click the delete button and the tag is gone. Legal hold will be removed. But if you want a time-based one, then you go for time-based and then set a retention period for, enter the time interval in days. And the data needs to be kept in a non erasable and non-modifiable state. Upon the expiration of the retention interval, the data will continue to be in a non-modifiable state, but can be deleted. So the thing is that you can put some days there. Suppose 15 days investigation will go on, and please don't let this guy really change anything. So enable version level immutability, which means that not only the original files will be no delete, no modify, but also the versions, older versions of the original file will be also no delete, no modify, right? Excuse me. Selecting this option will migrate the container to support version level immutability as well. This operation may take some time and is irreversible. So you have older versions of the file, you made some changes, you kept on making some changes, and there are 15 versions of your one file. So it will not let you delete or modify the 15 versions of your files as well. So you can just put all kind of restrictions here. Allow protected append. Suppose the user say that, hey, I have to change the file to keep on working while you're investigating me. So then you can go for append blobs or block and append blobs. So block is not blocking or stopping. Block, blob, and append blob are just binary large objects or files. Append blobs, if there are files that really need a huge amount of changes again and again and again and again. Repeatedly, you have to change for the business to keep on going. So then there are files or append blobs the feature there that yes, there are some files that needs to keep on changing. Suppose there are log files there, right, for some applications. And block blob is there are files that needs to have underlying hardware speed. For some files, there's read and write going on. So those are block blobs, virtual disks. So those virtual disks will be considered block blob because they request or they require underlying hardware to offer read and write, read and write, read and write. So you can during investigation you can just let the users use some files and modify some files, but all modifications will be recorded as well. So that's what you can do with this policy. I'm just gonna click, I want to save, but what happens is, and I think one of the students tried. So what happens is, suppose I put 15 days here, so then I cannot delete this whole storage account until the 15 days are passed, and they're gonna keep on charging me for the storage account, whatever is remaining here. So this is the configuration that we wanted to check, but uh, I'm not going to save it because then I won't be able to delete this whole storage account because of this setting, right? One student did dig out deep and then figured out that still how to delete the settings within 15 days. So I would leave it to you to dig out and figure out. But in a production environment, yes, if it is required, you will click save, and yes, company would be willing to pay because company would say yes, we want to keep those files from being deleted or modified. So then obviously the company will incur charges, and it's peanuts for companies. It's nothing for the companies. So that's why, no problem in the companies. But here we just need to understand, but we don't need to really save it. I'm going to click cancel from here. So there are two immutable blob storage policies. One is legal hold and one is time-based retention. Right? So, that's what we discussed. One is container security. In the container security, we've just talked about, container policy. Then there is container, that is this access policy. So stored access policy, then immutable blob storage. So container stored access policy, and then there is immutable blob storage, container immutable blob storage. So stored access policy just gives you timestamp time range for permissions like read, write, list, create, delete. It's me. And then there is container immutable storage that is legal hold for uh, uh, implemented manually, implemented manually, and then there is a time-based retention, uh, which can be configured in days, and protected changes can still be allowed. Okay, so if we go ahead, so that's access policy for a container. So every container will have that access policy. Shared access token, you want someone to access the container with these restrictions. So you can do that. So container offers shared access token as well. So still containers security. So there is a shared access token. And I'll just put a picture there just for you to see that, okay, these are kind of restrictions that you have to provide a key, you have to put a expiry date, and you have to put which IP the user can connect from, and you have to put this HTTPS or HTTP and HTTPS both. And if you want to actually have storage policy, so remember that I created just now policy 1. So you can just put that policy here for it has a timestamp as and the permissions combination, right? Or you can go for your own policy, which includes actually the public IP as well. That this part of the public IP you can connect from. That is this. Okay. Then I'm just gonna go back here and properties. This is just the information about the container, and metadata. You want to put some more information about the container, you can do that. So the three areas of a container would be in terms of security of the container, because container contains your critical data, right? So access control IAM is first is one of the container policy. So that would be container security, and it's IAM. This is the way you can secure the container, and this is the whole page for that. That you can allow somebody with contributor role or you know owner role of the container. Or so this is one thing, IAM or access control. Access control. And then the other ones are, the shared access token. This is the way you can also, control access of anyone. And then there are these container immutable blob storage and container stored process. Since we were there, so immutable blob storage and add policy, that's how it looks like. Legal holds. Now, actually, yeah, so that would be more better. I put it there, then the suggestions come. Okay. So these are the three security policies for, or security configurations settings for our container, typical container. And obviously you will have lots and lots of containers here, and you should then make sure that how do you want to save one container and what kind of security are involved. So that's all here. Now, if we go back to the storage account here, and then file shares, Now, file shares, we already did the lab for that, and in fact, file shares is just your sharing. This becomes file share, which file share feature. This storage account becomes a file server. And just to give explanation, otherwise there is nothing related to security. You can secure whatever is shared in the file, but overall, it's not a security topic. Like what is file share? You create a file share, which is just a folder, and inside the folder, you can have files and folders. But when you create a file share, you have a virtual machine here, and that file share. So this is the VM, and in the file share is mapped here as a Z drive. So suppose the file share name is sales, right? So there will be Z colon backslash sales. It will be a map drive for sales in your VM. So if the users are connecting to this virtual machine and saving everything, so if it is saved here in the sales folder, which is actually mapped file share, so everything will automatically get saved to this folder inside the file share. And obviously, file share is living inside the Azure storage account. So inside the Azure storage, there's a file share, and Azure storage account is file share is mapped to any number of virtual machines, and users can save anything in the virtual machine. They think they are saving inside the virtual machine, but it's actually being saved in the file share inside the storage account. So if the machine goes down, then obviously the data was never there. The data was always here in file share. So you can always make that data available to another virtual machine until this virtual machine is coming back up, right? So that's file share. The security for file share would be who have access to that. So you can just put access via IAM, which means that who has what access to this file share. So that would be the security side of that. And you can add user, remove user, and give more or less permission to the users. So not much here other than that you control the access. So if we go back here to the storage account and then queues, but this is more towards so this is not obviously a security topic, but queues is just used for between two applications when two applications which are exchanging messages, or within an application uh, two features of the application are exchanging messages with each other. So for that, the queues can be connected to that application, so developers can put the code and put use the service for their own application. So it's for developers. Tables again is NoSQL table you can create there, and then that table can be connected to your application. So it's for developers to do that. Not much in terms of security. Then there is security plus networking. In the networking, obviously it's which net you want to allow from internet activity to the storage account, or you want to allow uh, from virtual network. So that's the upcoming topic, VNet, virtual network. So with virtual network, you want to allow from virtual network, you want to allow people to connect. So this is more connectivity than security. And if you go to Azure CDN, so this is also um, sharing your data. So content delivery network, you're delivering your data across the planet you will deliver your data to the suppose East region, or East Europe region, or North Europe region, or East Asia. So this is more towards delivery, content delivery, right? And yes, in security for that would be who has access to that equipment. Then these two are networking features. This is security again, access key. So we talked about that before as well, but under the AZ-500 umbrella, we're gonna discuss that. So access keys authenticate your application's requests to this storage account. Keep your keys in a secure location like Azure Key Vault and replace them often with new keys. The two keys allow you to replace one while still using another. So the thing is that you are connecting with an application. So the last week we have installed an application as well, which is Microsoft Azure Storage X O and RUR. So I'm just gonna open that application. In AWS, we were doing that too in the evening class, and that was we were using CloudBerry application. That is also just like a storage account. You can upload download files there. So to connect this CloudBerry application with the storage um, account or S3 buckets in AWS, we had to use the key for that. So I'm going to show you here as well how to use the key to connect this application in the laptop to your storage account. So this one is already connected to my previous storage account, which is already deleted. So I will get rid of this information. What is this application? This application helps you upload, download files. So I'm just gonna go ahead and this user here, I'm just gonna click remove because this one is related to my older storage account. I'm gonna click remove here and yes. And now this application is not connected to my current storage account. Right? So can I connect this application, File Explorer application or Storage Explorer application to my storage account with access key? So we can check that out. I switch back to my storage account. So I want that this application to be connected to this storage account with the help of access key. So am I able to do that? So if I go to the storage account, does it ask us to put a key as one of the conditions to let us connect this application to this storage account? If I go to the application here, this is Microsoft proprietary application, obviously. So it's fully compatible and secure to connect to the storage account from this application. So I'm just going to go ahead to this icon and I'm going to click sign in with Azure. And then with Azure, if it's still selected, because we're not connecting from Azure China, we're not connecting with US government, custom environment. So with this, I'm going to click manage custom environments. And then there's an add button here. And yeah, so I was talking to my kids. Yeah, how do I get the on 10 point? Oh, yeah, they have actually changed that as well. See this? Okay, let's show it again. So sign in with Azure. Then I say that, okay, I want to connect with this application with key. Can I do that? So there's a next button, but there's a back button as well. Obviously, so when we opened this, it opened us to it took us to the select Azure environment, but there's a select resource as well here as well. So we go back here and then it shows all the other options to connect. And there is that ADLS Gen 2 container or directory as well. So guys, this is ADLS is at a lake storage account. So this offers very fast underlying hard disks. very fast performing underlying hard disk if you want, then you can connect to ADLS Gen 2 version 2. We did not click that at that time. So anyway, it doesn't let us connect. So I'm just going to go for storage account or service. It can just connect you to the block container as well. But I have a full storage account. If I go to storage account, then it says account name and key. That's where it is. But only by key can I connect. Not. So I'm going to select this account name and key and then try to connect. So it says that give me a display name, account name, and account key. So I'm going to switch back to this, and yep, there's our access keys here, right? So key one, key here, and account key. So I'm going to click show. If I click rotate key, this key will be gone forever, and a totally new key will be sitting here. But I'm just clicking this copy to import, and then going back to the storage explorer. And if I put that key here, so it does take that key, but it still needs the account name. So if I switch back to this, where's my account name? Oh, this is my account name, isn't it? So I should say, there's my account name. No, oh, that's so cute, right? No. Anyway, so this is account name here, and hope this is enough. And we're going to know that you want user to connect with not secure HTTP protocol, or should the user be only connecting with HTTPS? HTTPS is by default enabled here in storage accounts, that you can only upload files with HTTPS secure, not HTTP, which is not secure. So I'll put just the key here and click next. It says make sure you only connect to resources you trust. Seems like everything's good. So just with key, I can connect this application to storage account. Well, can I or not? I'm just going to click connect because we never know until it is done. So yes, successfully added new connection. So this application is now connected with this storage account with this key. Now, if I click the rotate key and this key is changed, then I won't be able to connect from that application, this one. So I'm going to open Explorer, in fact, just to explore that, hey, am I even connected or... Okay, so storage accounts, attached containers, emulators, and yeah, so storage key for this foosball, this is the one. And if I expand that, so I am kind of connected here. Seems like I'm connected. And if I'm connected, so this is the, if I expand that now, 7 March, right? Yes. So I can see then all the containers. But I have just one container. So that's the container that I'm connected. So only purely with the key I can connect. With the storage account, the problem with that is only that if you rotate the key, then if this key is no longer uh, uh, then applicable, because the new key will come there. So how about if I do that, in fact, I click the rotate key, the current key will become immediately invalid and is not recoverable as well. If you want to regenerate access key E1, so I say yes. Ouch. And so here, okay, it's done here. Successfully generated the access key. So well, I'm expecting that I will not be able to connect from this application to this storage account now, right? So I'm going to go here and I'll try to upload something here and upload file. I have to upload file to my storage account, but I don't think I'm connected there anymore because the key is invalid now. So I'll go for third party user access key or whatever file I have here. And I'm logging into block blob or page blob or pen blob, whichever blob you won't have target access tier. So I'm just going to click upload and starting transfer. suppose it's, well, right now it's using the older key, and there you go, there's an error. Failed. Okay. So it's not gonna let me connect now, or it's gonna fail now because I rotated the key. If I just close this and open this again, Microsoft Azure Storage Explorer that we installed last time, obviously I should not be able to connect anymore to my storage account because now the key has been rotated. Storage account, there's the 11 March, and with the key only I connected, and there's a block container, it still shows there or not. There you go. So authentication error is there. The key is row A head. Okay, so that's authentication failed, and I need another key to connect, right? So that's how you can use keys. You can give another key while you're rotating this key. That's why there are two keys that are there, and the user, you can tell the user, hey, as a security precaution, I need to rotate this key, and you will not have access to our storage account. But here's the other key. You can put there, and I rotate this key, and then the next month you do the same. Hey, I'm gonna rotate this second key now. So here's the other key, and you can connect from there right away, so you don't get disrupted. And I'll just rotate this key. So you can rotate both keys monthly, weekly, whatever security configurations you have. So that is the key access, key access keys, and through only access keys you can connect to applications. Even from Cloud Shell or PowerShell, you can connect to the storage account just with key, and that's the beauty of it. That then you can simply rotate it, and the access is so. I'll just put it in the slide as well. Access key, storage account access keys. But this is on the storage account level. Storage account access key. But also on the container level, you can use access keys as well. So if we go ahead, there is also shared access signature. This one not only gives you access with the help of access keys, but it's also not only that you should have a key provided by the storage account, but then it says that I'm going to put more restrictions on you. So this means that this application is already not connected through key. Right now, there is no connection of this application with the storage account. But let's try to connect this application through SAS-based keys now. Shared access signature. And a shared access signature, SAS is a URI that grants restricted access rights to Azure storage resources. So key is, you have the key, you have full access. You don't have key, you don't have full access. Here, you have access, it is restricted access. You can't do a lot of things if we don't allow you to do. So suppose I don't want you to delete anything, and I don't want you to create anything, and not permanent delete as well. Enable deletion of versions. I don't want you to delete anything, not even the older versions. And then the expiry date, right now it's today from 11:52 a.m. till evening. Okay, so a few hours of access by default, but you can change it to whatever you want. And then from which IP, suppose I go for what is my IP, and then we go for this. Here is my IP, and then HTTPS only you can connect, and you're gonna use key 1 or key 2. Okay, suppose I go for key 2 here. that you're going to use key to connect. So it means if I rotate key 2, this access given through this SAS or shared access signature will be gone as well. Now there's allowed resource types service. These you have to select which resource type you're accessing, then it will create a shared access signature. If you don't select any of these, then obviously you can't create anything. You have to connect to some resource. Permissions and restrictions you have already configured, but on which resource you have to select that too. So container object, yes. Suppose that user that you're about to give access needs access to service container object. Okay, so now I'm gonna generate the SAS key here. Okay, so shared access signature is this. So shared access signature. We just put more restrictions. Signature. Signature. All right. And once you put more restrictions, you can always change those restrictions as well. Now, if I go back here, I click generate SAS. It generates a connection string, the information with which the connection can be placed between the from the application on your laptop to the storage account. But suppose if I select this button again, right? So then a new connection string will be created, and you can select this button again. Suppose you make a change and then you click the button again. Suppose I say that, oh, you cannot add as well. Then I click that. So it will create a totally new connection string. And with the connection string previously, the guy was connecting from the application to the storage account. That person will not be able to connect anymore because you just click the button again, and this means the previous access is gone, and you have to give the new access string with slightly different information. So you have to then make sure that since I made actually a change, add. So we actually want to add. So I'm selecting that again, and I'm clicking that again. And there was slight change here. So connection string, SAS token, blob service, SAS URL, shared access signature, file service SAS URL, queue service SAS URL, table service SAS URL. So these are the 4 services for which you have given now the restricted access. These 4 services, right? Okay, so how do I put this there? So I'm just going to click the application. I know that I'm not connected anymore through a key. Refresh all. And why is it even showing when I cannot connect? So I'm going to go there and I want to make a new connection, but this time the SAS URL. So I'm going to click sign in Azure. And Azure, it takes me to the second one, but I actually want to go to the select resource here. I'm going to go back here. So then here's storage account, and then this time it is connection string key or SAS. So, or shared, actually this is the one, shared access signature. It probably says that. Shared access signature URL, although above is also okay for, because it does mention SAS there as well. The connection string for that. So shared access signature here, URL. We have a URL. If I go back here, SAS URL. Blob service URL, file service URL, but this is a blob service, or we're gonna let this person access. But connection string based also we can give access, right? So if I switch back still and go for this first of all, connection string based access key or SAS. So I'm gonna just stick to this and click next. And display name and connection string, that's all. So I'm just gonna switch back and I'll grab this connection string. So it has this copy button, and I'll go back there. Yes, it does detect that. Okay, So this is the display name of the storage account, and this is the whole connection string. And I'm just gonna connection string inside information about connectivity, but also all the restrictions that has been enabled. I'm just gonna click next. It says make sure you only connect to resources you trust. I think I trust that. So it's going to let us have access, restricted access to all the services, blob, service, file, view, table, right? So click connect. Now I have restricted access to the storage account. I'm going to click open Explorer to check what access, where I have, yeah, the 4 services are here. But I cannot delete anything. So I go to the sales department here, or ALS department. I do have to upload something to delete. So I'm just going to upload something. And okay, and I'll upload some file. The file, upload. Should be able to upload. And transferring this file there. Yep, it is uploaded. So the SAS or shared access signature restricted access will not allow me to delete anything. So am I able to delete or not? So I'll just right click here and delete is this. So click delete. Deleted blobs will be retained for 7 days. Are you sure you want to delete? And yes. Oh, there you go. Fail to start delete. Insufficient credentials. Yay, it works. So whatever restrictions you have given there, it will comply with that, and you cannot do whatever you were not allowed to do. So I didn't allow to delete, permanent delete, and delete previous version, so I cannot delete now. Yes, I can upload. I cannot create something here as well. But if there's a create button, there's an upload one, and copy paste create a new folder. Okay, I want to create a new folder. Company 1 or whatever, and press OK. So am I able to create a new folder or not? Well, I restricted myself unless there's another permission that allows me to do that. That's another thing, but fresh. Okay, it's pretty much the same error. Nothing got created here as well. I'm still in the sales department. Oh, sales department container is this, but where's my folder? No, maybe it's refresh. I don't see a folder. I'll go up there in the URL here and go to the container and go to sales department. No, there's no folder here. So yeah, from this access, from this application, whoever is connected cannot create, cannot delete anything. That's good. Okay, that's proven now. So I was connected through that, and I'm going to go back here and storage account, and that was foosball 1, 11 March today. And we were talking about shared access signature here. And yeah, that's it. So, as soon as I come back here, you can see that it's back to not configured at all, or the default factory default settings, right? So this means that the information connection string I should have saved somewhere, but I used up the connection string here now. Suppose this guy somehow deleted this or reinstalled again, uninstalled everything, and then asks, hey, I want to connect with the same restriction. No, I have to configure the whole thing again, give the connection string, new connection string now. So, or you would have saved it in a file here, that connection string. If you haven't changed anything here, connection string, it is good, given again, right? But now it's factory default back. So this is how the security features shared access signature works. So I so that's shared access signature. Okay, yeah, I already took that. Now, if we go for encryption, so we have actually went through that encryption before, but So the customer managed keys, we went through the how to create a key vault, and then we talked about the PKI and public key infrastructure, and what is public key and private key, and the whole configuration we discussed in detail with all the concepts as well. So I'll discard that. And then there's Microsoft Defender for Cloud. That's also a suite of security tools for there are storage related security tool there as well, but right now it does not really show anything because we don't have Microsoft Defender purchased here. If I go ahead with the Microsoft Defender for Cloud, actually, if I go back to this storage um, here, if I check that out here. I'm going to go to search and Defender. I'm just going to type Defender here. And there's the Microsoft Defender for Cloud, right? So now I'm away from storage account and inside Microsoft Defender for Cloud. Now this is 30 trial days left. Okay. So it's going to be on trial and I'm going to click upgrade now just to enable the trial. And did I really click upgrade? Upgrade again. Oh, okay. Trial started. Yes, we now have all the features enabled here for Microsoft Defender for Cloud. Now, related to storage is what we would be going for because that Microsoft Defender for Cloud really defends pretty much all the other features as well. But what are the features that are available for storage? So first I enabled it, then I'll go to the resource group. Okay, so the session has been idle for too long, so I'm just gonna refresh the stay on page. I'll go to the storage account again because Defender, Microsoft Defender for Cloud is, the trial version is enabled. I'll go to the storage account and then I'll check that now what it shows here. Right? So I'm just gonna click this ball and then go for there you go. Microsoft Defender for Cloud. So here, it does show now a bit more stuff for storage specifically. So that's and yeah. So there you go. Naveed is also showing some you know URL here. What is Microsoft Defender for Cloud? There you go. Thank you for that. And for storage particularly, that's my emphasis right now. And for storage, it doesn't show much other than the already created reports. But we will be covering separately the Microsoft Defender for Cloud when we are done with the vCenter and all the other features, right? But this is the link for that so what is this? Microsoft Defender for Cloud is a cloud native application protection platform, CNAPP. The set of security measures and practices are designed to do what? To protect cloud-based applications from various cyber threats and vulnerabilities. So that's the main thing here, to protect cloud-based applications from various cyber threats and vulnerabilities. Right? So this is something that is a totally separate, independent topic as well, where we're going to explore that what exactly is the framework for this. So I'm going to still, put it here. What is Microsoft Defender or Defender for Cloud? Microsoft Defender for Cloud. Microsoft Defender for Cloud. So we're going to explore all its features separately, independently as well. And If we go back here, um, yeah, so what we are, so this is what the storage side of the cloud defending that it does, certified for cloud. And that is recommendations. If there are any recommendations, suppose you have thousands of files there and the files are not encrypted, or some files are not encrypted, or some files are corrupted. Maybe some files have some showing some or folders have kind of virus threat there. So it's going to give you automated security for that. Check for alerts on this resource. So it's all alert and recommendations, but you don't have to really enable anything other than this, which is enabled at the subscription level per storage account plan. So 10 transactions per day are being analyzed. And estimated number of Azure Blob and file daily transactions for this storage account derived from the last 2 weeks of usage. So if you have been uploading for last 2 weeks the files, then it's analyzing all those files. Transactions just means that upload, download, delete, create. Uh, so whatever is read and write is going on. Not read and write, but transactions. You're modifying something, then it will analyze that. You've created something new, then or uploaded something new, then it will analyze that, right? So this is just what Finder does, or which is good. It checks for viruses and vulnerabilities or ransomware attacks and all that. So you have to enable that Microsoft Defender for Cloud for these services to really work for you. So okay, for storage side, we're talking about security, right? So this is what Microsoft Defender for Cloud does. It just gives you automated scans of antivirus and vulnerabilities and recommendations for security it gives you. Or you can check for alerts as well. If you have any alerts, then you can check in Microsoft Defender for Cloud, but you have to enable that or purchase that service. Uh, you know, the company should purchase Microsoft Defender for Cloud to get all the recommendations and alerts about critical files, security of the critical files, right? Then comes for storage account redundancy, and that is we have done a full lab on that before. That you can, so there's RAGRS already selected here, which is read access geo redundant storage. So your files are here in this region and in the west region as well, or you can go for local redundant storage, LRS, geo redundant storage, GRS, which is also one file in one your files are in one region and its copies are in another region. And then there is read access geo redundant or RAGZRS. So there are so many of those. But yes, this is high availability. We're talking about security here, data protection. Then we did talk about that before as well. But this is what it looks like. You can recover your containers with point in time backup. You can take the point in time backup of the containers as well as you can recover it from there. So by default it looked like this, but I enable operational backup with Azure backup. Well, that's also important that you can uh, take backups. But other than that, enable permanent delete or soft delete items. I'm just going to select that too. For 7 days, within 7 days, you can recover files immediately and enable point in time restore for containers. Use point in time restore to restore one or more containers to an earlier state. If point in time restore is enabled, then versioning, change speed, and blob soft delete must also be enabled. So these are some of the high availability features as well. You can make it again available after deletion is there, and obviously there is delete protection there. Um, so this feature, I've just enabled this enable permanent delete for soft delete items. I'm just going to click save here. Going to update data protection settings for blah blah blah. Configuring feature PITR is enabled. Please disable it and then try. So conflicting feature PITR is enabled. So that is PITR feature. I enabled something and then it did not. point in time PITR. Point in time restore is enabled. Okay. So point in time for containers and enable versioning of that. So I enabled one more feature here. I'll go back here and discard everything and then come back. So data protection here is yes. So there's Azure backup that you can enable and enable permanent delete for soft deleted items. Oh, okay. So I don't want, okay, let's not enable. So soft delete just means that you delete something and it stays for 7 days, and within 7 days you can immediately recover them as well. So that's where then it says that if you enable that, then you have to disable this ATR, enable point in time restore for containers, right? So it's already configured there, enable point in time restore for containers. What I can quickly go and check is if I click containers, and that's the only container I have, right? So if I delete that container, I'm deleting this container, so that this action will move the following containers and its contents to a soft deleted state. Containers will remain recoverable for the retention period of 7 days. So this is that setting that we were talking about, which is, and it's deleted right now. And you can see show deleted containers here. And yep, that's the deleted container. Those are active. So this is deleted and you can recover deleted container as well. So there's a restore container and restore selected or restore all. So yeah, that's only one restore selected and roll back to which time. So point in time. So you deleted it yesterday, but you want to roll back it back to even previous time than that. So you can do that. And yes, I want to proceed to this container. Blob ranges. A blob range will filter for specific blobs within the storage account. The start of the range will include with exactly match the end of the range is exclusive. So it's gonna cross-check all the files that needs to be restored, and also if you perform a restore, this action can be undone. Are you sure you want to proceed? Yes. It's just create another. Just restore it. I'm just going to click restore, and then restore operation request submitted. Operation will be initiated shortly. Restore operation ID is this. Okay. So it's like, I'm going to check this, show deleted containers. Because I want, once it is restored, it should show here. So refresh. Okay, so it has initiated and it's going to take time to show it back here. So that was data protection. And yes, you can, if the whole container is deleted, you can restore it or recover it as well. That application, we already did that lab in AZ-104, mob inventory, static website. These are not security features. Configuration. So that's just overall configuration. Storage account, secure transfer is enabled. Yeah. So already we have talked about that. Data Lake Gen 2 upgrade. So when you enable this, then you can go for Azure Synapse application that does analytics for your data. And that's more related to data engineering. It gives you very good, strong, or very powerful disks, underlying disks there. Resource sharing is cores between two applications across different domains, not a security feature. Advisor recommendations, it gives you recommendations, then the whole endpoint stuff. And there's logs here, and yes, we already talked about the logs that you can go for read only or delete a log. So suppose here that is read only, so you can do that. And notes, so make this storage account read only and press ONK. Yeah, then it will be should be read only now, and I should not be able to delete this account or make changes to this account, right? So is that the case? So if I click something else and then go back here and go to containers. Oh, there's no containers here. Oh, it's read only. Okay, so it says the point in time restore is in progress. And so, yeah, I did create a restore here. So if I go to file shares and click file share, is it read only? Test to create. Okay, there you go. Cannot create a file share as well. And please remove the lock. There you go. So if you put a lock on the storage account level, then it's not going to let you create anything because now the whole account is read only. So yeah, if you want to do that, but I don't want to do that, but this is how it is. So I'm just gonna remove that lock here. This is a lock, and I need to delete that. So you get to know that whole storage account will be read only, and you cannot create anything anymore. Or if there was anything existing, you cannot change that because it's going to be read and only. Well, insights, alerts, metrics, workbooks, they're not really security features, but the monitoring features or alert features, yes, that alerting and monitoring is also part of the security Az-500. So we're going to separately talk about the monitoring features, which we did cover in fact, Az-104 as well. So, that's the whole security features of storage account here. We went in detail. Now, after the break, we're going to start with VNet, virtual network security features. We're going to create virtual network, and then we're going to check that the security features there right after these messages. Oh, there are messages. Oh, one message. So there's a break slide. Oh, I broke the break slide. Yeah. So break class starts the 41, 12, 41. All right, guys. So let's get go in go and ing. Okay, so um, we're going to now start with the security configurations of the virtual network. So Azure Virtual Network Security. And for this, we're going to then go to the Azure Virtual Network and try to create some, obviously, first of all, we're going to create a network, VNet. We're going to create subnet, and then we're going to talk about what are the security features in the virtual network. Okay, so so let's talk about this, and let me just grab some info about that. Okay. So let's go for creating a network. So I'm just going to go ahead and try to first of all get rid of what I've created here and go to resource groups. And what we can do is we can delete the resource groups as well. I have removed the lock, right? So we can talk to our trusted pal here, which is I had opened that GPT and then it is here. Okay, so Azure Cloud Shell, um, uh, Azure Cloud Shell, and then PowerShell as well. So PowerShell command to delete resource groups. Okay. So it says here you can delete the resource group. Set dash az context minus subscription ID, remove resource group minus name resource group force. Okay, so that's the remove. First, it just says that for which subscription you want to do that. Suppose you have multiple subscriptions, then you can go for context subscription ID. But I'll just try to go for moving the resource group from the Cloud Shell. So I'll just copy here this command and it here because I need to still add some more information. So one resource group I already have that resource group name. That is this. Oh, that's today's resource group. Okay. I'll just copy this and paste it here. That's one resource group. Okay. And Control C. I'll enter again because I need to delete multiple resource groups. And this is the other resource group, RG March 11. Okay, the 4 March resource group, I'll try to delete it by force as well. So I need to put that in the command as well. Please delete this resource group. I'll just run those commands one by one. And then, well, this is a Cloud Shell. This is where the Cloud Shell is working right now. So I'll just reconnect. It was disconnected after being idle. As soon as it loads with PowerShell here, then I'll just run this command. And so ChatGPT has given this this command to work with. I haven't put the in the context of which subscription, for which subscription the resource group needs to be deleted. I'll just go directly with the resource group deletion. So remove AZ resource group, name this, which is this 11 March. Okay. So it's kind of busy here in this. And so see this, there's an open session here, right? I want to run the other command, but I don't want to wait for this command, right? So I'm just gonna click this open session again. It's just opening in another window, and it has opened another session of Cloud Shell where I can run the other command. So the previous command is still working. While I have opened another session, I'll switch to the tab because I need to run the other command as and L. So I'll just right click and paste here and run this as well. So both the resource groups are being deleted now. Hopefully they are deleted with no issues, so we could now carry on with the the stuff for the vCenter while this is going on. For implementing security for virtual networks, there is for different topics for security. Okay, so that's very good. Minus Force actually removed the today's resource group already. So this resource group is gone. If I refresh here, okay. Oh, it is gone. Okay. So the other one I am also forcing, and somehow there was an issue with this. So let's see if it gives me the error here again for 4 March. I'm not deleting this one because the Cloud Shell is running inside this storage account or resource group, and then the storage account. This is a storage account in which the Cloud Shell is running, so I don't want to touch that. From there, actually, I am deleting everything. Okay, so that said, That was sent or not? Yeah, was sent. Uh, Yes, with on the left side, I'm just trying to uh, check certain settings. Okay. This is the one. Sorry, on the other side, I'm just opening. Okay, let's create a network here. Oh, this, let me just go through this. Oh, it's still deleting. Now, what I'm going to do is we will create a virtual network, and I'm going to go quickly to this virtual networks here. And then in the networks, I'm just going to quickly create a network now. So I'll click the create virtual network, and then backly I'll just try to go for it's asking for a resource group. I deleted that resource group already. There's only two resource groups there available, so I'll still create a resource group for today, which is RG 23 11 March 2023 dash one, just to still, although I know that it's deleted, still just making it a bit different if the background synchronization hasn't really worked. Um, okay, so other than that, let's go for virtual network. So VNet name is Amir VNet 1 East US. Deploy to an edge zone. This is another new option that has been added, but edge zones are those data centers where you deploy, uh, you download files for cache purpose. So nearby people can connect to those files. Or download the files very fast or in a or fastly. Uh, now what we need to do is that I'm going to go ahead and click review plus create here. And that virtual network, yes, we can create through um, you know, all the we can actually, I'm creating it through this started, but we can create it through PowerShell or as well. And in fact, better to go for East or Central. Naveen says East US, right? East East US because there are more features there. So why East US? Naveen is asking. So there are many features in East US that may not be available in Central US. When it comes to Canada, that's where we're comparing with US and Canada. So East US is having more features there. Uh, so that's why we're going for that. But yes, you can go for Central as well. Hopefully, it has also a lot of features. So I was just creating VNet, and it didn't ask for the firewall, but definitely we're jumping into the firewall now for that purpose. So obviously, it's going to be something that we're going to be doing now. Okay. So now what do we need to do is that we're going to uh, different strategy. Now it's done, so I'm just gonna go ahead and try to open it. But the thing is that if I go to virtual network here, East-US, yeah, subscription. Firewall should be inside, but it didn't ask me, which is strange. Why it didn't ask me? And I think the picture is showing. Naveed is showing the picture here. Azure Bastion firewall. So Naveed, you can just create without any of those selected, but because it's inside as well, we can do that. The strange thing is, I'm just gonna click create again just to quickly check. Did I do something wrong here? Did I do something different? It didn't show me the other settings like firewall or not. Right? So on there, VNet dash 2 and East US. It didn't show me anything. Why? Tell me why. So, oh, you know what? Because I think I went straight to review plus create instead of next. That's why. So, right. So there you go. And thanks for that reminder, Naveed. So you see that I just went for review plus create straight. So I'm just going to go ahead and yeah, I'm on this as well. Yes, we need to deploy these settings. They are part of the Az-500 as well. So what we will do is let me um, take out the topics on the left side and show. Now, first of all, Azure Bastion, we're going to be configuring that. Azure Firewall, we're going to be configuring that, and then DDoS. So if we configure it from here, that's not going to be step by step. That's why we are not touching it now because we will manually click them one by one and check them out. So that is the re and done. But I'm not really going for uh, clicking it now. I click next here and it asks for IP address here. So we're gonna stick to the 10.0.0/16 range, and the subnet is the default subnet here. Other than that, we're going to create a virtual machine inside because we need to talk about NSGs and then we need to talk about VNet peering or VPN gateway. That's part of the AZ500 as well. But we did do that in the AZ104 as well. I'm just keeping it to the same network here and then click next. Whatever you can type there. Okay, so project is Toronto project. It's just showing there Toronto shoreline. Suppose that's the project. Department is say IT and manager is on. Okay, and click next here and then running validation. And then I'm just gonna click create this one, which is pretty much the same as before that we were but that I created directly because I also didn't select or change anything. So I don't need to really create another one because it's already someone where I didn't select any other option, right? So once we create the VNet, then virtual networks has a lot of stuff there. So there are NSGs that we need to talk about, and then there are VNet peering or VPN gateway that we need to talk about. And then we need to talk about virtual WAN, including secure virtual hub, secure VPN connectivity. That was a full lab we did, including point to site, implement encryption for over express route, configure firewall settings on pass resources and platform as a service, monitor network security by using Network Watcher, including NSG flow logging. O and K. So we're going to do that also. For that, the plan is that let's create a VNet, then let's check if we have a subnet inside, then let's create um, a VM, right? Inside our new VNet. And also, let's talk about NSG. We did talk about that in detail, but there are some longer labs that I'll be then giving the links for that, reference to that. That hey, for point-to-site VPN, that's a pretty long lab. So you can just check that out because we did that before and it's recorded, so we don't need to really repeat that. In fact, NSG we talked about in detail. It's a small thing, so I can go over this. And then we're going to talk about NSG. Then there is the network security group, that is network security groups. Then there is UDRs, which are user-defined routes. User-defined routes. And then there is VNet peering, which we did. And then VPN gateway, that was also done because we had to install VPN gateway for point-to-site VPN, right? So then there is also implement encryption. So I'm gonna give the links for references to the VPN gateway and point-to-site VPN there. Point-to-site VPN. Then here in the slide, so you can always watch that video again. And then there is VNet peering, virtual network. So plan implement. We're going to talk about virtual LAN and virtual hub and virtual hub, and then encryption over express route, encryption over express route, right? Firewall settings. So what are inside firewall? And then also there is network watcher. So that also separately a resource group has been created, right? Also there is a virtual network service endpoints, private endpoints, private link services, and then network integration for Azure App Service and Azure Functions, security configurations for an app service environment, so app service environment security, and there is Azure SQL Managed Service Instance, so security for Azure SQL Managed Service Instance or Azure SQL itself. Then there is also TLS to applications, which is not a network topic, but I'm just going to mention here because we need to go through all that. TLS to applications, including Azure App Service, or TLS to applications and Azure Service. Azure Firewall, we already talked, we will be talking about, including Azure Firewall Manager and Firewall Policy. So Azure Firewall Manager, okay, I'm just gonna put that with the firewall topic. So firewall settings, Azure Firewall, uh, Firewall Manager, and firewall policies. Firewall policies. And so there is Azure Application Gateway. I mean, that's if you have application, then we got to talk about that. Application Gateway, Azure Front Door, which is kind of part of the networking. Web Application Firewall, so WAF, which is Web Application Firewall, and then when to use Azure DDoS protection standard. Okay, so that's a lot of stuff, and that's part of all part of the Az-500 for network, and let's try to do that. So we're going to be creating a network. Let's check if the subnet is created. Yeah, that's obviously subnet is created already by default. Then we're gonna create a VM inside, right? So okay. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm just gonna be going ahead with the VNet security, and let's go for exploration of what our topics are done from here. And I'll mention here or do a green a green icon there. So virtual VNet and subnet is created. So I'll go for green here, and let's create a VM inside. So I'm just going to create quickly a VM inside. It is just to cover all the security topics that how does it affect the VM, or if there is any connection VM that we need to create. But VM will not be used a lot here. So that's something that we're going to then carry on ahead. So now let us go ahead. I'm just going to that. We've already created the VNet, right? So I'm going to quickly create a VM, and we can create a virtual machine inside the Cloud Shell as well. Just a simple virtual machine. If we talk to our trusted, friend here, which is Azure Cloud Shell, because we need to create it in our new VNet and subnet, right? So we have to be careful here. Azure Cloud Shell, PowerShell, how to create a virtual machine. Created this issue persists, contact through Azure Cloud Shell, PowerShell, how to create a virtual machine. So it just means that it's just sick and tired of me asking it questions. Oh, okay, I'll refresh. It's loaded again. Okay. Pure magic. Create a virtual machine, Cloud Shell using PowerShell, follow these steps, blah, 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 Cloud Shell, open it, and then if you have multiple subscriptions, then go for subscription ID. We have just one subscription, so no need for that. And as a resource group, it's saying that please create that resource group first. But we have a resource group already, right? And then new AZVM, resource group name, VM name, location, image name, size, VM size. It's just saying that and then explaining everything here. But wait for the virtual machine to be created. You can check its status by running the following command. Get AZVM, resource group name is this, and if the machine is created, right? But this is saying, for example, to create a virtual machine named MyVM using the Ubuntu server image in the East US region with a size of standard DDoS v3 and using the username this to authenticate, you would run following command. So many of the features would not be then available, and image name is also that needs to be found out. So I'm going to copy code here for creating a virtual machine and put it there. So first line is new AZVM, second line is resource group. So I've just created my resource group again, which is I'll and refresh that. This is a resource group here. Enter the VNet, and the resource group I'm working on is this. So I'll copy that here. Resource group name, my resource group. So that's this. And then name VM. So I'll just go for Amir-VM01. And location is East US. Yes, correct. Image name is Ubuntu server. So we may not need to really log into the machine because if we go for it's the network security features, right? So we don't really need to log into the machine itself. And for that, so that's why we can have any image inside. So Ubuntu server is okay. It's a Linux machine that we're going to be deploying, so it's going to deploy fast as well. And its D2S v3 is I think it's 2 vCPUs and 3 GB RAM. Credential, get credential, must username, Azure message. So it's just saying that it's going to pop up for the credentials. We're going to put our credentials. It's going to detect our credentials. So that's what Chat GPT gave us, but this is the whole code with the brackets inside. I mean, is bracket it's part of it, or it's just explaining. If I go back here and check it out, so credential, one is credential, so and using the username. Okay, I'm just gonna run it quickly. So right click, copy, and where's PowerShell, reconnect again, to connect with PowerShell, and I'll just put that in WhatsApp as well. The command, you just change it to your names. So yes, it did pop up for, hey, what's the username you want to put? I'll just go for Amir admin here. Oh, wow, it is even masking the username. Password for the user, Azure users. No, it suggested that the username would be Azure user. Is okay. I could have changed it to Armor admin as well, or Azure user is also okay. But what's the password? I'll go for the class password. WC, capital C, shift 123, without shift 123, enter. And it says can't find the image Ubuntu server. So just the image name is an issue. So we can get the image name for Windows image as well. And that, okay, my long-running with status conflict. And I'll be checking that why my other resource from last week did not read, but I do not need this. So I need the image name, right? So Windows image name, Azure Windows image name, or I'll just click the create image, or images, no, VM virtual. I'm just gonna go, I just need the Windows image name, right? So for that, I'll go to virtual machines Just to complete a PowerShell command, and I'm doing that. Otherwise, you could just quickly create that. So touching PowerShell more would be always very beneficial for us. So I thought that it's been long. See all images. So Windows Server 2022 Data Center Azure Edition. Uh, or I just need to go for some Windows, Windows 11 Pro. Then go for that too. I'll try to write this. Okay, it's not letting me. Um, okay, so I'll just write the name and check if it works. So um, it's no, there are spaces here, so you have to put a comma there. So Windows 11 Pro, comma version, Windows 11, comma. I hope this is exactly the image name that it will detect up there. Version. Coming up with a PowerShell script first time is kind of it takes time, but then later when you have all the scripts gathered, then you just have to make small changes and you're up and running with a lot of stuff very fast. Dash x64 Gen 2 comma. There were spaces here, so that's why I was just checking this. Yeah, Gen 2. So I'll just put that again here. If it detects that image name, it's already working here. Paste. And it's asking for passwords. Small ABC, capital ABC, shift 123, dot shift 123. Okay, so it does not find the image name here as well. Not to see all images, I'll just click that. I'll just go quicker if it's taking more time. Then I'll just simply go ahead. And what's the official image name that it uses? Normally, these are the image names here. And Windows 10, so Windows 10 image name. What is it accepting as an image name? Well, this is supposed to be accepted as an image name, but somehow it's not. So I'll just quickly ask this guy and no PowerShell, Azure Virtual Machine, Windows image name. It's writing there when you're writing Windows image name, so you can go for get VM image offer. Answers. Oh, oh. You can use the command to create a virtual machine using the desired image and SKU. Here is an example of command that creates a virtual machine using the Windows Server image and the 2019 data center SKU. So it has given a bit more information. I'll copy code with the image name here and quickly go for that, which is better. Oh, it has given the image name. So all I need to do is still change the resource group to this. Okay, so ChatGPT is still, ruling. Okay, that's it. Let's just quickly do that. Copy the same here. Yeah, sure. So the working PowerShell CMD led for creating VM in Cloud Shell slash PowerShell. It's there, and okay, go ahead. Okay. So later, when we need more virtual machines, now then we can just simply refer to this. You can just change your name there and then run it. So hey, I said working, but I didn't test it. Right? So without testing, we cannot really announce working. So and password small abc, capital C shape 123 without shape 123, and yeah, okay. So it is deploying that machine now. Um, okay, so that yeah, it is working. Thank God. Now that done. Once the machine is created, what we're going to talk about is um, the. Hey, didn't I make it green? Okay, then I didn't save it, I guess. So let's check subnet. So it's done and creating virtual machine inside the VNet. It's all done. So um, then we will be talking about. Let's talk about NSG. So network. So NSG is obviously we've talked about that before as well. Network security group, and for this we were so NSG is like really firewall that is for the virtual machines to really virtual machines created. Yay. So it's created here and it's working fine. I'll just take a screenshot of this. Right. So right. Let's go ahead. So when you get this slide, you will get the as well. Now, NSG simply is network security. It acts like a firewall, um, and what it does is simply it allows slash blocks um, traffic to slash from the source slash destination. So traffic is coming from which source and which destination. So it allows blocks that on the basis of that. Also, it's going to block the ports, allow or block the ports as well. And so when we are talking about ports, then that is like the traffic for the data traffic for the FTP. You have to remember the port names there that are supposed to be uh, very common ones. So we're going to talk about those. For example, that we can allow log application uh, words, application protocol ports do this, do from this machine, do from this VM to other destination. Right? Okay, so for example, we can allow 3389, which is a remote desktop protocol port from the public IP of our branch. Uh, Suppose this is IP from like 46.126.38.90. Um, that's some random IP, right? Public IP. So we can give all this there. Okay, David has shown the supplied password must be between 8 to 123 characters. So then you have to give the password, some secure password, and complex password, right? Just a password thingy. Now see the username in Azure. Username for the virtual machine. So when we try to log in for the virtual machine, then only that this username will be used. And oh, so you forgot the password. Mastergy. Oh, but the virtual machine got created. Like, you can still create the virtual machine again and delete the previous one, and simply uh, put the password that you remember. Okay. So here, NSG is pretty straightforward, but where is NSG? Let's check it out now. And we've done that before in the, in this course, AZ-104. So let us go ahead and try to do this here. I'm going to go ahead and go to the environment, and here, so NSG security group, I'm going to go to the virtual machine here, and NSG can be created on the virtual machine. It can be configured separately as well. In fact, if I go to search here and I type NSG here, so that's a network security group. Let's go to the network security group. So there's one network security group, in fact, already created for our virtual machine when we were giving the command partial commandlet. So it created that. If I go inside that NSG, so you can then configure inbound rules and outbound rules, and that's what we were talking about. That you can see that 3389 port is already allowed, 3389 port, and we can add. Suppose there's a database port there as well, so add from any source or from a specific source, specific IP address, service tag, application security group that the traffic is coming from, and whatever traffic is coming there, destination is the IP address, which is ours, and the service. That's the thing that you can mention here. MySQL, if I or MS SQL, we go for, so that's port 1433. Suppose there's a database traffic that is connecting to your virtual machine, so you can just allow or deny that. So this is allow here, right? Allow, and priority is this. So pretty straightforward. We did that before as well. That you can just allow deny any port. In the inbound security rules, outbound security rules are the same thing. You can attach this NSG to a network interface card. It is, in our case, this NSG, or network security group, is attached to our virtual machine that we just created from PowerShell. And this NSG should be connected to subnet as well. Right? So I can just go ahead. I'm inside the network security group that is attached to the virtual machine, and I'm attaching it to the that subnet as well, in which the machine is supposed to be residing. In fact, oops, that's the thing. In the PowerShell commandlet, we did not actually tell it which VNet to connect to, right? So that's not good. So I'm just telling it now, the network security group that is connected to this virtual machine that we create from PowerShell, I'm telling that NSG to connect to the virtual network that we created ourselves and the default subnet of that virtual network. So I'm pressing OK. I'm just changing its virtual network. So that virtual machine now is network card. So the network interface card is this. Network interface card is connected to this network security group, NSG, right? That NSG now I connected to our
VNet that we created, right? This means that virtual machine can communicate with other virtual machines through this new VNet. What I can do is I can just go to the VNet and confirm that. Suppose I go for virtual networks here, and this is a virtual network we created. Virtual networks. The PowerShell script, it also created a virtual network with Armor VM01, unless it was a virtual network script, not a virtual machine script. Actually, it was a virtual machine script, obviously. The new AZVM resource group, name, location, image name, size. There was no mention of virtual network at all, right? So that's why there's confusion right now. Obviously, the PowerShell script, I was just quickly searching that there right now. So in terms of NSG, network security group, the main purpose of that is to really allow or block traffic. So this is it. And we have gone inside the NSG as well, just to check it out, that what kind of configurations we can do. This is what we need to know, and we have actually already done labs on NSG in our course. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put this NSG whole interface, what you can do and what are the options here in the slide as well. Because we need to visit other topics as and well. So you can just search NSG. It acts like a firewall, but before that, go to Azure search and type NSG and click network security group to go to its console. So that's how you can then configure the whole NSG. You can create more network security groups and attach it to it can be attached to a VM and subnet as well. So this is what we can do with the NSG. So network security group is pretty straightforward thing. Nothing, no big deal here. But yes, when we're running PowerShell, so we have to be very, very specific with what we're doing. And I should have, if I'm going with ChatGPT, I should have mentioned the VNet as well. Why don't you let me have VNet? So if I just change that to Windows image, and then with VNet and subnet option. So suppose I go for that. So it starts then working on the same thing with the additions. Right? So it again says check the subscription ID and try to go for that. Then the resource group name is this. Always create a resource group before. Then it just says that why don't you just create a VNet before with in that resource group, and then it's subnet also create within the VNet, and then the whole script for that. And it's giving an example as well. Suppose you were creating that. So this is the file script, which is pretty cool. Then now it shows that there is the location, what is the image name, what is the virtual network name, subnet name, and then size as well in the credential. So this is again addition. Suppose I want to also have a script for where the firewall option is also configured, where the or NSG has been selected as well. Suppose I want to mention the proper specific NSG which I have created. So I can still keep on adding more stuff here that with NSG option with subnet and NSG. So that'll give me a script for that option where NSG is also selected. So because it has, and then save and submit, and then it goes. So you can really fine tune your script with this. Just keep giving, okay, also add this option, also they add this option, also add this option. So ChatGPT just keeps on refining the option for you, and that's pretty cool and pretty fast as well. We can achieve with this if we know what how to use it, or if we know what kind of options we can use to, so the result should be fine-tuned exactly what we want. So now it has given a much bigger script that really, oh, it's still typing. Okay, that really adds all the options. So, okay, so that's a big one. And then you have to go through this. So better have a know-how of the PowerShell as well, but it has created variables here, and you can give names here, and then give all the, so create VNet, create subnet, create network security group, everything. So that's pretty cool. But anyway, let's go for, so we have talked about NSG, and that information is here as well. If we keep going ahead with the list, so we talked about NSG, right? And UDR. So we're going to be obviously going through all those the newer topics that are specific to AZ-500, and then those topics that we are revisiting because we mentioned them or we went through them here in the AZ-104 course. So there's VNet peering that we have gone through. So I'll be making slides for all these separately. So whichever are not green, obviously I'll be visiting them. So there's VNet peering here, and VNet peering is all about that, two VNets can connect to, basically VNets cannot, VNets do not have any default communication between them, right? If we want a VNet to VNet communication established, then we use VNet peering. And for VNet peering, we already had done a full lab where we created two VNets, and then we created two virtual machines inside each VNet, and then we gave private IP to those virtual machines, and then we established that peering between the two VNets, and then the VNet peering was done. So what I can say is, please refer to the lab in our AZ-104 course. Refer to the video, not the video. Our AZ-104 course, where this topic was discussed in detail and lab performed. So VNet peering was something that we had already covered, and I just explained that what it is. I don't know why it's overlapping. There are so many overlapping topics that AZ-104 has and AZ-500 has, so we're going to concentrate on what AZ-500 is really talking about. So VPN gateway also. VPN gateway and point-to-site VPN both were done. So this is, again, please refer to AZ-104 course video for this. I'm just trying to separate the topics which are AZ-500, and we haven't done that. So these are also AZ-500 topics, but we have done them in great detail and talked about in depth these topics. Very strange thing is that AZ-500 also says that talk about the technology, and it's not really saying that talk about the security of the technology. So virtual WAN, Virtual WAN is a technology that we talked about before as well, but virtual hub and virtual WAN, what are these? So we're going to talk about that. Firewall settings. Since we have a VNet already created, we can, oh, okay, 142 time. So we can go for some smaller topics just to cover time, but we will be going in depth with firewall settings, firewall policies, and firewall manager in the next class, obviously. Network watcher, virtual network service endpoint. So these are a lot of topics there that we need to cover. But right now we have a VNet here. So we can just go through some of the VNet features here that are security related. So I'm just gonna switch back to virtual networks here. Oops, that's storage accounts. Virtual networks, and in virtual network, the new virtual network. So address space, yes, whatever IP address scheme you have there, you can give that. Connected devices, so which devices are connected right now? So that virtual machine is actually not connected here because of the wrong use of the PowerShell script. And we should have used a PowerShell script with where it clearly says that this virtual machine to the particular VNet and subnet. So try to use that. Now you know that how to use ChatGPT, and try to come up with pretty much every lab that we did with click, 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 click. Try to do that with ChatGPT and try to keep on refining your scripts. Once you have those scripts here, these scripts will go a long way to help you and really make your life easier because you have to have a script repository, working script repository. So the script that you've tested already and it's working, so you would know right away this is working. And instead of going click, 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 you keep on refining your script. Just add more options, VNet options, security options. Go through the whole GUI, graphical user interface creation of your virtual machine, and see what options, what other options were there, and then put in ChatGPT. Okay, and this and this and NSG I put there, remember? So it came up with another script. Then keep on adding those until you get a perfect script that when you copy paste, it just creates for you a full working virtual machine with all the options that you always wanted. So we keep refining our script until it is perfect. Then you can just copy paste and there you go. So you have a lot of stuff working, happening in the background while you're doing something else. Okay, so this is kind of working script repositories. We still really need to make create a separate Word file and then just call it working PowerShell scripts. And I do have some of those that actually work perfectly. So yeah, this is the one that I'll just put in WhatsApp as well. Working storage script, and I think I put it here already, but storage account keys. Oh, I did not. I'll just put for you. So this slide will be very important for you then. Working PowerShell storage account creation script. It does make your life much easier. Plus, you can then mention in the interview as well that yes, I can work on PowerShell. Just try to learn more about the basics of PowerShell at least, and then keep working on gathering more PowerShell scripts for your on learning and record. You keep using it as well. So if we go back to what we were talking about, so connected devices, it's not a virtual machine is not connected for in virtual network subnets already created. Bastion. So Bastion is obviously a part of security discussion. In fact, is it? Because it's not mentioned there. Bastion is just way to connect, right? But is Az-500 considering it as a no? It's not considering it as a security related topic. So Bastion is not there. Okay, so firewall basically, obviously, it's the firewall that is the main topic, but not the Bastion. In Bastion, we did already in the AZ-104 as well. Distributed denial of service. This is just enable disable thing, but protect your public IP resources in the virtual network from distributed denial of service attacks. So for that, we just need to know what it is and help protect your apps and resources with a profile automatically tuned to your expected traffic volume. Defend against even the most sophisticated attacks with an Azure global network that gives you dedicated monitoring, logging, telemetry, and alerts. So what it does is that hackers just send a huge amount of packets to your network as if there are millions of users that want to connect to your network, but it's actually hackers who are sending fake traffic there or packets there that are not exactly genuine users, but they're just huge traffic coming your way. So your network services will stop responding if it is overwhelmingly high traffic coming to your network. Adaptive threat intelligence automatically detects and mitigates even the most complex DDoS attacks. So complex DDoS attacks just means that they may go to a great length, hackers may go to a great length to make this it would look like that there are millions of genuine users trying to connect to your website, but it will try to check all the threat intelligence of Microsoft will try to check that, hey, is it really genuine users? And it will go to great length as well to make sure this huge traffic is actually legit traffic or is it attack from hackers. So they have background systems to check and algorithms to check that, how to detect a DDoS attack. Massive DDoS mitigation capacity scrubs traffic at the network edge before it impacts application. So even if it is on network edge, it has reached your network edge of the network, still it will be mitigated or it will be dissolved or it will be repelled or dropped before it reaches actually your applications, and then your applications stop working as well. So full visibility into DDoS attacks with actionable insights for quick response. Uh, so full visibility into DDoS attacks. So it will give you an insight that when this attack happened and how to respond to this, how did we respond to that attack, or how our threat intelligence really responded and mitigated this attack or stopped this attack. Easy to deploy multi-layer DDoS protection immediately helps safeguard all resources on your virtual networks upon an enablement. So you just need to enable it, and then it starts protecting your all applications and network resources with from this attack, right? So application downtime can be minimized even if the attack or some part of the attack was successful. The whole attack will be repelled, or the majority of the part of the attack will be repelled. So that's what they're saying here. And latency during attack. So while the attack is happening, application downtime and latency or late data arrival or slow data arrival or data movement will be minimized, at least minimized, if not fully moved. So these are some of the multi-layer protection within minutes. So not only that DDoS attack, you can only enabling DDoS attack, you can even enable other protections as well, like WAF or Azure Application Gateway Web Application Firewall, right? So that is WAF. You can other than DDoS, you can also enable WAF there as a second layer. So defend against a comprehensive set of network layer 3 or 4 attacks, and from common application layer 7 attacks deployed with Azure Application Gateway. Protection is easy to enable or any new or existing virtual network and requires no user configuration or application resource changes. Inline DDoS protection is offered through partner network virtual appliances. So the main thing is that not only you can enable DDoS, but you can also enable WAF or web application firewall to have second layer of defense, for your applications against the attacks, right? And interoperate seamlessly with Azure services. Well, it's still going to work with other defending or security services. Protect your apps with the security Microsoft users. Reduce risk and focus on keeping your business running effectively. So basically, Microsoft invests more than US $1 billion annually on cybersecurity research and development, and we employ 3,500 security experts. So they're just saying that you just need to enable, and then rest assured that you will get all the protection from distributed denial of service attacks. But when it comes to enabling it, so the pricing is also there, and monthly charge includes protection for 100 public IP resources is $4,000 per month. Overage charges more than 100 public IP addresses, $40 per resource per month. So whatever resource you want to protect, it doesn't come cheap. So when you enable it, you will be, charged for per resource. So 100 resources are there, 100 IP addresses are there. Obviously, any resource over the network will be protected. So it's per resource, they will go ahead and charge you for that. Okay? Azure pricing. So this is a pricing model for that as well. So DDoS protection. I'll just put a good read link here, but this is just you enable, and then Microsoft tool starts working to protect it, your network. Protection. So this is the good read about that. Okay, so guys, we're gonna continue with this network topic, and we're gonna be covering then these topics, and I'll just put that here. So some of those are we talked about, or these are already there with labs, the green ones, and we're going to be continuing to talk some more about this. Azure DDoS protection, you just need to enable. We don't need to do anything in the background. Everything happens. So that's what we need to understand here. I'm putting it green here, but we're going to be talking about the rest of the topics in the next class. So see you in the next class then, and have a nice weekend. Bye. Recording.